It could go either way. We're going to see this one coming up in just a second. This head-to-head is grossly Cody favored. It is like disgustingly Cody favored. I think it's 11-1 or like 11-0 or something like that. And the only time Salt won, at least according to PG stats, was like a random Salt line from like years ago.
Which, like, I honestly feel like I may have commentated, because I feel like I've seen a Salt Cody set go Salt's way. I mean, you know, it's not surprising. You could just pull up the numbers and go this is a very heavily favored set from Cody's end.
Which is weird to think about, though, right? Like, you think about Cody's upbringing, you know, as a competitive player, and everyone jokes about the Nun set from SmashCon 2019, where he just gets owned, and then Vish is like, you know, he's quit law school for this and whatever else. He was, like, not very good against Falcon at the time, but I feel like that's just a testament to how much of a grinder Cody is in these matchups where he's historically wasn't as strong.
Yeah, I think that is like one of the things that sort of separates Cody from some other players. Like, unfortunately, you know, I'm not going to call out any names, but we can all think of a player that we like a lot. You know, I'm not even thinking of a specific player. Like, we all know players like this, where it's like, man, they're so good, but they just have a blank problem, or they have like multiple, like they're not good versus floaties, sure. They're not good versus whatever. Think of any Spacey that's like only good versus Spaceys. Think of any Marth that's only good versus Spaceys. Like, and then you go like, but when they play Peach, when they play, you know, Sheik or whatever, they just get bodied. Cody is not like that. Like, he just kind of goes, if I'm not good at a matchup, I guess that'll become the matchup I like focused all my attention on. Mm-hmm. And it matters a lot. Beautiful season.
Yeah, it's crazy to see. Like I said, 2019-ish, he was like not amazing against Falcon. The Nun set happened, and then he was like, I don't want to lose to Falcon anymore. He had like really close runs with players like Wizzy, for instance. And then he had the same exact era with Jigglypuff. I mean, he was trained with Armada for a period of time. He got really, really good against Hungrybox specifically. He's taken that game 1 over Salt. It's looking good. Salt has not gotten to a game 5, and again, I don't mean this as like a bashing Salt moment because I love Salt, but Salt hasn't gotten to a game 5 against Cody since Training Mode Tuesday, which was a while ago. So it's just tough. I think this is just a really, really hard matchup for Falcon in general, especially when you're the number 1, number 2 player in the world.
Yeah, actually catches the jump there. That'll be the stock. I think one of the things that makes it, like, it's funny. There are certain matchups in Melee, especially against low tiers, where the more complicated you play, the actual, like, worse you do.
Totally.
And I feel like Falcon is one of them, where if you end up playing kind of like in the Falco matchup at least, it's like not shooting too many lasers and just kind of abusing the fact that you actually have a lot of hitboxes that interact well with Falcon. And Fox has some of that as well, right? Like the up tilt serves a very similar function. The Nair serves a really very similar function. The back air.
Right.
So there's just certain moves that Fox has where you don't need to overcomplicate it. You just kind of play the same game plan of knocking him off stage, and you can get really, really far.
I mean, I think the same can be said for Falcon, right? And it's interesting that you bring that up because look at that. What a good stock from Salt. I mean, it's enough to equalize. Still have to play on the back foot, but it's funny. I actually interviewed with Wizrobe last week for a video I'm working on for CEO. And in my opinion, I was like, you know, when you think about like all of the Falcons and like where they are, if you put them on a line chart, there's like Wizzy is all the way on one side. He's like really reserved and slow. And then Nun and S2J are all the way on the other side, and they're really fast and crazy. For the longest time, I always thought Salt was like beyond Nun and S2J, like just an actually insane person in terms of how fast she plays. I asked Wizzy about this, and Wizzy's like, yeah, no, I actually think Salt plays a lot like me. And I'm like, I feel like that's crazy to me, like hearing that from him. But his whole thing is like, oh, Salt does like the correct thing a lot of the times, which I think is cool. So to your point about like, you know, slowing the pace down or like doing the correct thing, even if it's on the side of Falcon, Salt does it.
No, yeah, I think that is an interesting thing that Wizrobe would say. I can see it, mainly because I think maybe a good way to put it is that Salt plays like Wizrobe if Wizrobe wanted to play like twice as fast and more stylish.
Sure, yeah.
But like a lot of the ways that she kind of approaches certain situations, she plays a lot of favorable situations, which I feel like Nun doesn't do as much. And that's something that I don't really...
Yep. Oh no!
insane.
No!
Oh my god, what the hell?
Are you
what the fuck is
kidding
that,
me?
man? Like, actually, that's just like such a sad moment for anyone in the chat has experienced that, and you know has just been like, even the Fox player feels kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, that was just a matter of mistiming the stomp, right? But like, you don't want to get burned on the way down. I don't know. That was all in Salt's hand, and now Cody can take this to the bank. This is rough.
Yeah. But yeah, so like one of the things we're seeing more and more in general is like more and more players are kind of having to adopt like a play the good situations more.
Right.
Don't kind of play like mix-ups you don't have to play. And so even, but the good news is that when we see someone like Salt do that, it still is this like super entertaining,
It's cool.
fast-paced
Yeah.
style, right? Like it doesn't have to be lame. Like, you know, it's such a complicated game that you can just kind of go wild and still be smart about it.
Right. That was really good from Salt. Unfortunate on the wake up, but all that off the back of a power shield was really great. Let's see if Salt can get out of disadvantage, though.
Okay. Both of them like getting a couple knockdowns, but not really being ready for it. Cody kind of doing these nairs in place a lot to catch Salt drifting in.
The jump callouts, that was great.
Great.
Salt doesn't get it, though. I think looking to reverse.
Really good zoning from Salt. Like this is where again the shades of Wizrobe might kind of be what you're seeing. Like playing the corner really well against a character that like is harder to play the corner well against because Fox is just so explosive, right? Like as is Falcon. That's why the matchup doesn't tend to look as positional as like a floaty matchup, but you still can play it that way. It's just like a lot faster pace to do so.
Yeah, for sure. Salt's a little bit overzealous there, going for the ledge. Wow, Cody got a tech on that too. That's gross.
It's actually kind of crazy. The fact that he was even expecting the up air or reacting at the very least.
Good SDI to grab ledge. Let's see how Salt gets out of the corner now.
Kind of a weird nair for Cody to just jump in, but Fox ledge invincibility honestly is something that to me lately, Walt, it's starting to get me. It's getting me a little mad. Like it's just so ridiculous. The better you get at this game, the more you realize like you just cannot mess with him on the ledge. It's actually crazy. Look at how fast Salt is playing though. Like really putting Cody in the back foot, but the knockdown is gonna silence that anyway.
That could have been stock right there. As Cody had it on lock too. Slide off on platform as well. Yeah, because Salt has had enough. I mean, I don't blame her. Like I said, I mean, Salt, incredible player. I feel like Cody has significantly locked in when it comes to this matchup, and it's such a favorably weighted character for Fox to just like go ham on. You take a player like Cody in that position, and he's gonna learn it to a T.